Alright, so you saw the title of the video. I'm guessing that's why you clicked on it. It's not just clickbait, I'll tell you that. I need to clear some things up, and I need to be just forthright and honest. So a couple of weeks ago, no, not even a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, I posted a video titled My Kratom Story, and it was my story of how I started using Kratom, started abusing it, just as I had abused drugs in the past, and then started going, I stopped using it and started going to meetings, addiction meetings. But the way I worded it may have sounded like I just came up with this idea on my own, that I, had the wherewithal to just decide, I got a problem, I'm gonna fix this. Not the case at all. So my wife brought it up to me yesterday. She's like, yeah, I watched that video. She's like, you weren't really completely honest in that video. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you made it sound like it was just this decision that you just made on your own. And she's like, that's not really true. And she is absolutely right. 100%. Like a lot of the things that I've done that have been positive, that have been good for me, I fought it kicking and screaming. My wife made me. She didn't really make me. She gave me a choice. She gave me an ultimatum. She said, if you don't get some help, because I was using money from our bank account that was not, mine to use, not for Kratom, not for my personal use, period, and, lying about it. And she recognizes that as, addict behavior, and told me, like, if you don't do something to fix this, if you don't start moving in the right direction, I'm going to leave. And that kind of made the decision for me, because I don't want her to leave. I didn't want her to leave. So that's what it really was. It wasn't me deciding for myself, like, oh, I have an issue, I need to work on this. Like, it wasn't like that. And it hasn't been like that with a lot of things throughout the past, 6, 7 years, 8 years. I fight everything, man. I have a big ego. That's something I need to continue to work on, like, daily. Clearly I have a big ego. I make videos all the time about, what I think about, like anyone really cares. But I enjoy doing it, and I'll continue to do it, but I do need to be honest about things. I shouldn't make it seem as though I'm introspective enough all the time to make the right decision, because I'm not. A lot of times I make the wrong decision, and I need some guidance. And that's hard. It's hard to admit, and that's probably why I made it sound as though, like, I didn't really mention that my wife threatened to leave me, because, yeah, like I said, a lot of my actions are ego-driven, and that's something, like, I've tried to work on in the past, and I need to continue to work on all the time, because it gets away from me regularly. But hopefully this is a step in the right direction. Like I said, there's been other things throughout our relationship that I fought her on, like, that she suggested I do, or say that I should do, and I would be like, nah, I don't want to do that, I don't need to do that. Excuses, and just like counseling. Like, I used to be really adverse to going to counseling. I didn't want to do it. I had some, I think, negative experiences in my past with counseling, when I was a kid, for me, there was a stigma about going to counseling. It meant that there was something wrong with you. And the same thing with going to addiction meetings. Like, the way I felt, it's like, that's not me. That's not for me. I'm not like those people, And that's just ego. And that's just addict behavior. And that's just conditioning from childhood. And yeah, I fought things kicking and screaming throughout the entire thing. Like parenting. Like, I was not a very good parent when Eva and I got together. I wasn't as present as I should be with my kids. I wasn't, and I'm still not perfect. I still have issues with, giving the kids, like, a lot of times when it comes to discipline with my son, I'm not as consistent as I should be in disciplining him, and I give him too many chances and things like that. And yeah, that's something I still struggle with. Like, most of the time when my wife suggests that I do something, I'm not open to it at all. And clearly I should be, because everything she's suggested for me has been positive. It has impacted me in a positive way. Like, I don't think I'd be here without my wife. Like, I don't think I'd be feeling as healthy as I do right now. I don't think I would be, I'm not a perfect parent, not even close, but I don't think I would be half the parent I am without her, interjecting, without her making me do stuff that I didn't want to do. And that's the truth. I fought these things. I always think I know what's best, and I don't always. And most of the time I don't. Like I said, I was around a lot of things growing up, and my wife even says this. She's like, what the things you went through aren't your fault, but at a certain point it becomes your responsibility to deal with them, to deal with the damage that it's caused. And that's what counseling's for. That's what meetings are for. And for me, that's also what fitness has been too. It's it's an outlet. It's an outlet for anger and pain a lot of times. And just positive reinforcement. That's why I do it. I do it because I feel accomplished afterwards. And it's the same thing with making the videos and stuff. Yeah, it's ego driven a little bit. I'm a look at me type person. I'm a entertainer, a showman, whatever. I've always been. I was the class clown growing up. I was loud and obnoxious, and it's something. It's part of who I am. But letting my ego get away with me get away from me, is not going to be helpful. But it's part of the reason. The reason I do the videos is because, the reason I started this whole video a day, podcast a day thing was to force myself to be consistent with something that I wanted to do, but just got too lazy to do a lot of times. I keep setting goals each year, okay, I'm going to put out this many videos this year, or I'm going to record this many podcasts this year, and falling way short of it, the past 2-3 years. And I wanted to do something that was going to keep me in the mindset of being consistent, and that's what the daily thing is all about. Is an exercise in consistency. And I feel like it's just like writing. When people write every day, if you're a writer, sometimes you don't feel like writing, or you don't have anything interesting to write, but the act of doing it brings out creativity over time. I learned a lot of that in The War of Art, a fantastic book by Stephen Pressfield. One of the best books I've ever read on setting, entrepreneurship, writing, just creative endeavors is what it is. It's a book on creative endeavors for the creative person and how to not get, not how to deal with like writer's block and stuff like that. And basically that's what would happen. I would get lazy. I wouldn't want to talk about certain things. I wouldn't want to make videos. I wouldn't want to make podcasts. I just didn't feel like doing it. I'd rather do something else. And that book says do it every day anyway. Do things for the sake of doing them, and eventually the creativity comes out. So anyway, it's a little off topic, but I just wanted to say that I wouldn't be halfway to where I am without my wife. If I had met my wife, I think my son would be in terrible shape. If she hadn't, basically forced me to learn how to parent him a little bit, to get him in counseling, to get myself in counseling, there's no way in hell we'd be where we're at now, where I have custody of my son, and he's doing great in school, and his behavior, while not perfect, has improved. I know that wouldn't be the case without my wife. So I just wanted to clear that up. I wanted to, because she was kind of hurt by that I made it seem that it was all me. It's most definitely not all me. The only thing that's me in this whole thing of where I like talk about things and do things and my accomplishments and stuff, the only thing that's me really is like my drive to do fitness things and my want to make videos and podcasts. But getting to this point in my life, that's not me. I mean, I gotta say it's a little bit me, right? Like, I have to actually take the action, but I fought taking action really hard, and I still do all the time. And I want to get better. I want to get better at that. So, anyway, I hope this clears things up a little bit. I know not a lot of people watch my videos, but hopefully if someone does hear it, see it, that deals with these same issues, they'll know that they're not alone in what they're going through. So, anyway, that's it. That's the video. Just a little clarification. So, if you like videos where I just kind of talk about what's on my mind each day, subscribe for more, because that's what I do. I'm trying to upload a podcast, a video. Basically, I make a video and then I also upload it in podcast form. So you can either search for the podcast Brett Scott Daily or just subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I'm trying to upload daily. If you're into that sort of thing, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.